So it is great to be back at Ignite and to talk with you all today about Microsoft 365 Copilot. We have been working hard this year to build a product you love, a product that you cannot work without. We have shipped over 400 new features based on your feedback. You told us to move faster. We shipped GPT-5 on the same day that it was launched. We released Researcher with computer use. You tell Copilot what to do, and it gets the job done. And at Ignite, we're bringing Sora 2 to the Copilot Create experience so you can bring your ideas to life in video. You told us you wanted model choice. We brought Anthropic models to Researcher, and now they're powering more innovations that you'll see here today. And as fast as we innovate, we know that the fundamentals are non-negotiable. We never lose sight of what matters most, ensuring that Copilot is high-performing, that it's reliable, and it's secure at the core. Today, more than 90% of the Fortune 500 use Copilot. Barclays is making banking more personal and more intuitive for their customers. DuPont is helping scientists go faster from hypothesis to breakthroughs. And Levi's is helping retail employees better serve their customers. Now, these companies, they're not just adopting Copilot. They are reshaping their operating models with Copilot. Now, the pace of AI innovation is relentless, and so are we. We are committed to not just bringing you AI that works, we are delivering AI built for work. Copilot is a unified experience that brings AI and agents together. It's powered by the best models, all in the apps that your employees use every single day, and it's all secure at the core on your M365 environment. We take the latest innovations and fine-tune them for business so you can focus on results. So what makes Copilot AI built for work? WorkIQ. WorkIQ is the intelligence layer that powers Copilot. It understands you, your job, and your company. So what does that mean? Well, let's start with data. Copilot knows you at work. It knows your most important meetings. It knows the files you're working on. It knows your unread emails. It knows the people you work for and the people you work with. Next is memory. Copilot knows the way you work, your style, your preferences, your habits. It also knows your workflows. Like, how do you handle important tasks like a customer escalation, preparing for completing an RFP, or even getting your annual review ready? And finally, there's inference. This is where Copilot puts it all together. It makes connections, it unlocks insights, and it even predicts the next best action for you. And it's secure. It keeps all of your data in your tenant, under your control, and respects all of your policies and permissions. And WorkIQ is built into the Microsoft 365 apps, so it creates this powerful feedback loop right for Copilot. It's constantly picking up more and more signals and using them to deliver smarter, more personalized experiences. And you can also tap into WorkIQ to build your own custom agents tuned to your unique workflows and business needs. But you may be thinking, how is WorkIQ different from using other AI tools with M365 connectors? Well, connectors only pull fragments of data with no real understanding of context and relationships, so they often miss critical information or even give incomplete answers. And worse, they may hallucinate. Copilot does not guess. WorkIQ works across all of your data in real time with full context, providing views into valuable patterns and insights. Also, connectors do not respect your controls, adding real risk to your most valuable asset, your company's knowledge. WorkIQ is built on your trusted Microsoft 365 environment, honoring all of your permissions and all of your controls. This is the difference of WorkIQ. Now, I'm excited to show you what happens when AI truly understands you, your job, and your company. So in this session, we're going to explore how Copilot and agents unlock 3 new patterns of work: AI as assistants, AI as teammates, and AI as operators. So let's dive into pattern 1. AI is your assistant. We all know what AI can do. You give it a prompt, it gives you a response. It's helpful, but it isn't that simple when it comes to work. You need AI that is your real assistant, understanding your context, taking on tasks, even keeping up as your work continuously evolves. With WorkIQ, Copilot is that assistant. All right, so let's move over and show you some demos. Now, I regularly meet with customers, and what's most important is I go into those meetings fully prepared. So I turn to Copilot. In this specific situation, I'm going to meet with a customer, Contoso. And I regularly meet with Contoso, so I want to look back at our previous meetings and look for any open or resolved issues so that we can have a very productive conversations. Now, what's happening here is Copilot's shifting to a reasoning model so it can piece together all that rich information from my meetings. And it's not just looking at meeting transcripts. It's also looking at the chat and everything that we maybe discussed in that chat. It's even looking at everything that we shared on the screen. All right, now you get this nice quick view of all the open issues. You can see that I'm the owner of a couple of issues. It looks like my manager, Jared, is as well. I'm going to zoom in here just so you see that Project Merlin. We're going to talk about that one a little bit later. I'll scroll down. You can see all of those resolved and agreed upon items, really rich content, and there's some additional context that was also shared in this overview. All right, now let's move on. Let's show you what you see in ChatGPT. Here, you can see I've turned on the connectors. So there's Outlook, there's SharePoint, there's Teams. I asked that exact same query right here. It thought a lot, and it kept on thinking, and it showed there were no resolved issues, no open issues. As I keep on scrolling, what do I see? It's only looking at Outlook meeting events. ChatGPT does not take into account any Teams meetings data. Hundreds of millions of Teams meetings happen every single day, and that is not included in any of their experiences. All right, let's go back. Now, I'm going to run another one. Here, I'm going to turn to my sales team and information that they've shared with me, because they're working all the time with Contoso, and I want to get the latest action items from the sales team. Amber runs that team, and then looking across all the various information we have in our organization. And I'm looking for, any checklist with all the due dates. This one, once again, goes to a reasoning agent. It's a lot of information to look through, but I'm going to jump ahead to one that I've already run, just so you see that output. It takes usually just a little bit of time, and this is pretty cool. Right away, you can see that it knew I was talking about Amber Rodriguez, and it also pulled that from her team specific information from her team. So now I can see Renita Hall, who reports to her, and Dakota. All of that information is right here, right in that checklist. All right, now let's look at ChatGPT. I ran that exact same prompt, and what happens? It looks like it doesn't know what I'm talking about with the sales team that reports to Amber. It can't retrieve any content related to this specific question. And it goes further and starts pulling up just random tasks that have been assigned to me in Teams. Yes, it's related to Contoso, but nothing from the actual sales team. So in conclusion, there was no valuable content here for me to be able to action. All right, and next, the last thing I want to show you here is that first kind of open item was about Project Merlin. And this is a super secret pilot project that we're doing with Contoso. All the content is encrypted with sensitivity labels because we cannot share that broadly in our organization or externally. Okay, but I want to be able to provide a summary of what's going on with our customer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run another query right now, and I'm going to reference that specific document. Here you go, see it, opened it up, and now I'm going to run the prompt. The response is going to show me a really great overview of what is in that document. The key thing here is that it's going to recognize that I have access to that document. If one of my employees or someone else in the organization didn't have access to that document, they would not be able to run Copilot on top of it. And you can even see the indicator right here telling me it's highly confidential and it's encrypted. All right, now let's move over to ChatGPT. I'm going to bring that one back up. There we go. All right, and here you can see I ran that exact same prompt, and it's saying there's no document with that name or content. It's searching now across other information to see what it can find, and look what it's doing now. It's telling me how I should proceed. It says, you know what, you can upload a document. That could result in your employees doing bad actions, like removing encryption and sensitivity labels so that AI can reason over it. All right, clearly, this helps you understand that I'm now ready not only for that customer meeting, but what you saw with WorkIQ is that Copilot understands your whole picture at work in ways that other AI tools using M365 connectors just can't replicate. All right. Now, when it comes to information work, we're still at the precipice of what AI can do. Look at software development. Developers don't tell AI every step to take. They describe an outcome, and then AI gets to work, and they iterate with AI, and they often call that vibe coding. Well, we recently brought that same way of working to Copilot with agent mode. Now you can share your intent and steer Copilot while it turns your ideas into world-class content. We call this vibe working. Now, to show you this in action, there's no one better than Sumit Chauhan, the product leader of Microsoft Office.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be back here at Ignite and talk about vibe productivity. Now, I've been part of Office for many years, and through every evolution in Office, our mission has stayed the same. We want all of you to do your best work with Office. And this continues today as we bring the latest round of innovations to Office. With the latest Copilot updates, now whether you are starting in chat or your favorite app, you get that same powerful experience no matter where you start. Copilot just brings it all together. I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to start in the M365 Copilot app, and this is the place, really, where chat, search, agents, apps, all of them come together. And what we are doing is we are bringing more of that familiar Office experience directly into chat. So you can stay focused. You do not have to switch apps. OK, I need to set up a one-on-one with Nicole, who's backstage. And because we've been working on this Contoso demo, and she's been kicking my ass, like I need to get on this. So I'm going to set up a one-on-one with Nicole. And I asked Copilot to do just that. Now, notice Copilot, using WorkIQ, finds the right Nicole. It knows who the right Nicole is based on our past chat and collaboration history. And it's suggesting some free meeting slots where Nicole and I are both free. I'm going to pick one of these options, and I'm going to go ahead and click Send, and Copilot goes to work. It's going to come back with a confirmation about the time and agenda. I click Confirm, and boom, my meeting is scheduled. I did not have to leave chat. Now, Outlook is not the only experience that we are bringing to chat. We are taking the much-loved productivity apps, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and we are converting them and transforming them into agents. So with Excel, PowerPoint, and Word Agent, you get a chat-first agentic experience that helps you do your best work. All of that same power that you get in those apps, right here in chat. So let me show you how again. Now, earlier today, what I did was I pulled up some information on Contoso, things like usage trends, adoption rates, support ticket volume, et cetera, et cetera. What I really want to do is I want to convert this into a customer dashboard in Excel that I can refine further. So I asked Copilot to do exactly that using the Excel agent. So now here's where the magic starts. It goes to work. It's going to use all of the context that I just retrieved in chat about Contoso. It's also going to pull through all of my latest files, meetings, chats, et cetera, and it's going to apply the latest reasoning model to structure the spreadsheet. And just like when you hand over work to a colleague, they come back and ask you for some clarifying questions. It's asking me to select a theme. I'm going to go ahead and click Start. And again, the magic starts right here. This is where reasoning kicks in. The reasoning combined with all of the power of Excel. It's thinking, it's planning, it's executing, and most importantly, it's validating that all of the output that it's going to create, which is your rich Excel formula, tables, and charts, are all accurate. Now, this can take a while, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and jump to a finished output. Look at that. This is an entire Excel workbook with not just a single tab, multiple tabs at the bottom, all reasoning over all of that data. And it created that summary dashboard that I asked for. And I have the adoption rate trend right here as a chart. And if I click on one of the cells, you can see it's bound to a native Excel formula. Now, all of the artifacts in here are native Excel artifacts. You can go ahead and play with this sheet to your heart's content. Go party on it, which I'm going to do in my favorite Excel app. So, my favorite Office app. Now, I'm back in Excel here, and I can go invoke Copilot again. And what I'm going to do is switch to agent mode because I want to make further edits to this sheet. Now, with agent mode in Excel, all of you in this room, anybody watching online can speak Excel. Give it a high-level goal, and it will create the sheet for you. Copilot becomes a true co-editor. It not only understands your sheet, it will create, it will modify your sheet. So what I want to do here is I want to actually, let's say, generate an adoption plan for the next quarter based on all of the synthesis that's happened in this sheet. So let's see, Copilot goes to work. Again, that same deep reasoning, that complex analysis, it's executing, validating, making sure that everything is correct. Again, this can take a while. Go grab your coffee, check your email, do your work, come back, and you have the data ready here. Right here is a chain of thought, and I want to draw your attention to this part of the screen. This is magic, like pure magic. This makes everybody in the room a power user of Excel. It actually explains to you how it arrived at that answer. It tells you where the formulas are in the cell. It tells you what those formulas are. And it explains all of the relationship between the data in this sheet. Every time I see this, I'm like blown away. OK, I jump to the adoption plan here. And you can see I click on a formula here, cell here. It's bound to an Excel native formula. XLOOKUP happens to be one of my favorite formulas. I jump on a chart here. And you can see it's an Excel native chart. You can use all of the chart tools in Excel to go edit this further. Now, another thing I want to draw your attention is the model choice here. Now, you can use either OpenAI models or Claude models to generate this sheet, and they'll give you slightly different styles. And pick your favorite. Now, this is what happens when you combine the powerful productivity tools with the latest powerful reasoning models. You get clear, trustworthy insights, ready to use and ready to go in your favorite Office app. Now, I'm going to jump into Word here now, my other favorite app, because in Office Leader, you cannot really have a single favorite app. So in Word, again, I can use agent mode to go ahead and fill this customer briefing template from the data that I gathered in my Excel file. So I'm going to go ahead and issue that prompt and ask agent mode to go ahead and fill this template for me. Now it goes to work. It's acting as a real-time writing partner. It's pulling all of the data from Excel. It's using WorkIQ to leverage any recent files, meetings, chats, emails that I've had on this topic. And it goes ahead and drafts directly in the document with proper formatting. Now, every Copilot customer has told us that they don't want Copilot to just answer questions. They want it to take actions on the canvas. And this is exactly what Copilot is doing. So I'm going to go ahead. It gives me a choice. I can keep or discard these changes. I'm going to go ahead and keep all of these changes. Now, I can go ahead and make further edits to this document. Let's say I want to add an intro at the top, and I want to ask a follow-up question. I ask Copilot to do that. And again, Copilot can handle multiple steps. It knows when to add content to the document, like right here under snapshot, it's added this content. And it knows when to answer question directly in the chat. So briefing done. Guess what the next step is? Of course, creating a deck. So I want to create a deck now for my internal team presentation. I'm back in my trusted M365 Copilot app, and I'm going to bring up the PowerPoint agent, and I'm going to ask it to generate me an internal briefing deck based on all of the data that I have so far, the Excel sheet, the Word document. So it goes to work. Again, just like the Excel agent, it's using deep reasoning and contextual awareness to create this deck. It's going to pull from my files, emails, reports, trusted web sources, and it's going to build me a clear and accurate visual story. Again, just like when you hand off work to a colleague, they'll come back and ask you for a few clarifying questions. It's asking me, who's my audience for this presentation? It's my executive team. What theme do I like? I like bronze. I like that color. I'm going to go ahead and click Start. And again, same magic. The power of reasoning models with our powerful productivity tools, thinking, planning, reasoning, creating, validating to create that polished output for you. Takes a while, so jump to my finished output here. And there I have the deck. It's a clean layout, it's a cohesive design, and most importantly, it's a compelling story that is aligned to my insights. Now, of course, I'm going to go and open in PowerPoint to make sure that everything is actually coming together in the deck. And you can see all the visuals have come forward, the charts, graphs, images, all of that. And I can go ahead and edit and refine further in PowerPoint. Now, all of these artifacts, again, just like Excel, are native PowerPoint artifacts. This is a native PowerPoint deck that you can, again, modify to your heart's content. I can go ahead and make some changes here. So I went from idea to presentation in about 7 minutes. And no matter where you start, whether you're starting an app or whether you're starting in chat, Copilot works consistently, and agent mode in these apps works with you to help you build your best output. Now, one last thing I want to show you here is notebooks. So the deck that I created, I want to share with Nicole. So I'm going to jump into the Copilot notebook that Nicole and I have been working together. And I see that Nicole is already in this workbook. Now, for those of you who don't know what a notebook is, think of Notebook as this place to manage your shared project. You bring all of your artifacts related to that project, like your files, documents, meetings, chats, emails. And when you ask Copilot a question on that notebook, it scopes it down to the reference documents in that notebook, as opposed to going and searching your entire graph. Now, what I want to do is add that deck that I just created to this notebook. Let's see if Copilot found that deck. And yes, it did, right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to my notebook. It gives me an overview page with a nice summary about what's happening in the notebook. And if I wanted something more engaging, I can go in here and click on an audio overview on that entire notebook that I can play on my ride to work. So everything the team needs is in one place, turning information overload into actionable knowledge. Now, with these new agentic capabilities, it's becoming easier than ever before to move from idea to impact. And Copilot becomes a true blue collaborator. It helps you create, it helps you think, and it helps you execute seamlessly across your work. And we are just getting started. Now, I'll hand it back over to Nicole, who's going to talk about the future of work and how we are building it together.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'm also happy to share that we're adding Agent Mode to Edge. It makes your browser smarter by bringing search, chat, and navigation together. Instead of just searching, Copilot now takes on tasks across your websites. So whether you're booking travel or submitting timesheets, Edge will take care of that for you. All right, now let's move to pattern 2. We all know that work rarely happens alone. Our best work often happens when we work together. That's where ideas spark and where we get problems solved. Now just imagine if every one of your teams had an AI teammate that didn't just sit passively in your meetings and projects, but actually contributed. This is the shift we're seeing, humans and AI collaborating to get work done. All right, so as I was preparing for my meeting with Contoso, I thought, you know what, I should look at our product roadmap and see where all of our products are really tracking. So I ran this prompt, and here you can see that I got a view of our product launch readiness, and it looks like a lot of our products are on track, but there's a few ones that are red. Now, in the past, I would just copy this and send it over to my product lead and say, hey, give me an update, what's going on here? But now, with Teams Mode and Copilot, I can start a group chat with my counterparts, in this case, my product lead, Jeff. I can then choose the number of messages that I want to share. I think I was planning my summer vacation on this chat thread before, so I'm not going to just share the last one. And it's going to go ahead and create, moving my one-on-one kind of AI and human chat to a group chat in Teams where collaboration happens, where Jeff, Copilot, and I are now working together. Here you can see it all came into my Teams chat now with Jeff. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and see maybe if I can get Jeff to come on stage and explain to me what's going on with these products that are running late.
Hey, Nicole. Glad to help.
All right, excited.
You ready? Let's do some teams. All right, I'm excited to show multi-user collaboration with AI in Teams. You can see we've now switched to my version of Teams with this chat with Nicole and Copilot. You can see Copilot has, the conversation's been handed over to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually ask Copilot for help answering Nicole's great questions about the learnings of the products behind these issues. And so let me go ahead and get that kicked off. And in this mode, in Teams mode, it's very important. Copilot doesn't use Nicole's memory, doesn't use my memory. It makes sure all the content that it's going to return back is accessible by both. And as a last safety step, it's going to ask me whether it should be allowed to respond back to the group chat. So Nicole, and maybe others could see this who are participating. So Copilot's typing away as it goes and gets the answer to this learnings questions that Nicole had. And we'll just wait a second for it here. And take a look. See, I should have done the 2-tab thing like Nicole did, but I wanted to work without a net. And sure enough, it's come back, and it's given me, did a really good job for all that time. It's given me 3 learnings, including example customers. This looks great. I'm going to hit allow. And sure enough, Copilot has pasted it back to this group chat. So that's terrific for ad hoc conversations where we quickly, safely, and securely are trying to get stuff done. But for more long-term collaboration, that's where channels in Teams come in handy as opposed to just chats. Here we've got a channel about a particular product launch. And let me kick this off and then give you a little background on it. We're going to ask for the latest issues from Jira. And again, channels are the best place for teams to collaborate durably. And now channels have a dedicated agent that has the specific knowledge and skills that are associated with the activity in the channel. And sure enough, that was pretty quick. It made up for the time in the first one with an answer. Oh, there it goes. It's doing its reasoning. I should explain what it's doing. I asked it to look up the issues in Jira. Many of you know Atlassian Jira, great project and issue tracking system. They support MCPs, Model Context Protocol. So the channel agent, this Fiber Launch agent, knew about these tools and was able to call it with its reasoning capability to get back the answer for this system without the user having to switch to the UI or even know an app mention the agent. You can see the reasoning going on. It's getting the information. It's going to finalize it. Oh, it already did finalize it. There it is. They're the 4 issues that came back from Jira. So adding this third-party capability is a skill, if you will, to our channel agent. And let me go kick off another one because I can see these issues are going to need a meeting between Robin and I to see what's going on behind them. And that lets me make the point that the channel agent can also use, of course, skills in Microsoft 365, making documents, scheduling meetings, creating tasks, and more. A lot of the things that Sumit and Nicole showed previously. In this case, it's looking at Robin's schedule and my schedule to find the next available time where we could meet. And this looks good. I'm going to go ahead and schedule a meeting on Friday, the 21st. So I want to talk about meeting stuff, but let me go to a meeting that's actually in progress and join that now. And there, I'm going to call up our special purpose agent, hey everybody, for meetings, which is called Facilitator. And so let me mention Facilitator, because I see this agenda is not complete. So I want to talk about success metrics. And what you see at the top is a new bar in Teams where we're showing the agenda for the meeting. I mean, how many times have we been to a meeting where you get to the end and you've really only covered the first topic? Well, this capability, powered by AI and Teams, is going to keep us all on track. And you can see we're partway through content creation, and we've still got plenty of time to cover success metrics. So that's super great. It's actually quite a fun feature at the end of a meeting. When you're all done, it plays a little happy tune like my dishwasher does at home when the dishes are done, that knows we had a great discussion. All right, let me actually just show this because the facilitator can get work done while the meeting's going on. In this case, we asked it to prepare a document that we came up with as an idea in the meeting. And sure enough, the facilitator, using the skills that Sumit showed, is made a great document. So we can focus on the content of the meeting while the meeting's actually going on and we're getting stuff done. The last aspect of Facilitator we have time to show is one of my favorites, though, which is live meeting notes. Here you can see the agenda, and we're tracking the meeting notes in a categorized way. It's automatically typing them and updating them and summarizing them as we go. And at the bottom here, you can see we're keeping track of tasks via Microsoft Planner. So you can add tasks manually in addition to the AI suggesting them. You can reassign them. You can mark them complete. You can delete them if they're not really appropriate. But this is all part of Facilitator in Teams meetings to make sure we all have fewer, better meetings with more effective outcomes tracking them after the meeting's done. So super excited about this. This feature is about 6 weeks after its GA, and it's really hockey sticking in its growth. I'm very, very excited about the progress here. All right, let me next show SharePoint. We'll transition from collaboration in Teams to knowledge management in SharePoint. Nicole talked about Work IQ, on how the brain, if you will, is powering the superior capabilities in Copilot. And clearly, one of my favorite parts of the Work IQ is SharePoint, where billions of new documents are added every day because of the best-in-class collaboration and compliance. And now, best-in-class grounding for AI with capabilities in SharePoint and Copilot in Microsoft 365. So let me show those a little quickly here. Here's a product catalog. You can see we've got some metadata there. And I'm going to click on this and select, this is the knowledge agent that we've released for SharePoint. And I'm going to hit organize this library. And up comes this view. And I'm I am going to ask it to create columns for product name, category, and material. And we'll go ahead and hit OK on that. And this is something we've all known is very valuable. Metadata lets you help you organize and navigate and filter and view and key off workflows. But you all know people do not like to fill out metadata. They don't really do it. Well, guess what? The AI doesn't mind doing this at all. And as you can see here, is really, really quite good at it. Look at this. It's able to come up with materials that are made of multiple ingredients, them all extracting from the document. So I can go ahead and save that in a view, so subsequently additional visitors to the site will be able to go search and browse that metadata. That's really great. We're going to show that here in a second, as soon as the view persists. Yep, we've got a great view there. But what I really would love to show you is how AI, specifically Copilot, is using that metadata. So I'm going to ask it a question, which is create a table of only the Zavacor apparel in stock in Florida. That was some of that inferred metadata that we just showed. I'll hit enter there, and this one should come back pretty quickly with a simple table, here we go, of the two products with the columns extracted from the metadata in SharePoint, and great answer, super short, exactly what I needed. All right, Nicole showed some demos of ChatGPT side by side with Copilot, and I thought I'd close with that as well. Here I've asked that same exact question of ChatGPT with their SharePoint connectors, and you can see a red exclamation point, and we didn't really find the data, it's groveling around, it's asking for stuff. It basically failed at the task because unlike Copilot in Microsoft 365, it's not leveraging the enriched data in SharePoint. And so that's a great example of many more that we're building and things to come where we're building into SharePoint and WorkIQ this great intelligence that Copilot and all your agents built on Microsoft 365 will use. So that is a quick tour of Copilot and AI and agents helping collaboration in teams and knowledge management in SharePoint. We announced a lot this morning. We have some great drilled out sessions I encourage you to check out. But that's all I've got time for today, so let me hand it back to Nicole.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Let's move on now to pattern 3, AI as operators. Now here, it's a wide range, from AI improving existing business processes to fully reimagining your business with AI. More and more, humans will set goals and handle exceptions, and then agents will execute tasks. Now, let me show you a few examples. Now, one of my biggest challenges as a senior leader is really handling and understanding my workforce capacity, especially right now because I've got this upcoming product launch. Now, this is where the new Workforce Insights agent comes in. It gives leaders a clear view of their workforce, providing guidance about how to hire or about hiring, skilling, and even moving talent around. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ask this agent to kind of help me understand how my organization is currently staffed, to break down skills, help me understand where I might have some gaps for a product related to this product launch. It's going to use company benchmarks that we have based on previous experience. I'm going to go ahead and start to run this agent, and because it's using a reasoning model, it takes a little bit of time. So let me show you an output from this exact prompt that I previously ran. Here you can see I get this really great at-a-glance view of all the skills in my organization. I also get a view of launch critical skills, and this is super helpful. I start to see that I'm low on certain key skills for successful launches. As I go further, it really gives me a bunch of those details, and then it moves into a recommendation mode. It tells me ways to handle those medium and high priority areas where I have low skills, whether I want to hire more people or maybe I want to do some additional training so that I can ensure I'm set up for a strong launch. In this specific case, I think I'm going to move ahead and actually hire a new marketing resource. All right, so I hired a new team member, and I'm super excited to have that individual join our team, but now I need to deal with onboarding. And boy, is that a painful process. It requires dealing with so many logistics, getting them a laptop, making sure they're on all the right distribution lists. So much work needs to happen, and it's important, but it's not my core job, so it's not a great use of my time. Well, this is where Project Opal comes in. Opal, executes task-based work for you, basically taking drudgery work off your plate. Now, this is an early stage product, but it's a great example of where work is going with the support of agents. So let's take a look. Now, I'm going to go right here into Opal, and what I'm going to do is I am going to start a new kind of task to onboard my new hire, Rachel. Now, this workflow takes a bit of time, so what I'm going to do is kick it off and then go off and do some other work. Because we don't even have that much time on stage, this is a bit of a sped up version to give you a full sense of the power of Opal. Now, this is really cool. It spun up a Windows 365 Cloud BC that can then access all of the apps and sites from a browser right within my organization. And it's using a reasoning model combined with computer use to really see the power of its work. Now, here you can see it's now on the procurement portal. It had already gone through the onboarding checklist, and now it's getting to work. It's helping me get an actual laptop for my employee. Now, I have guardrails for Opal. It can't just spend a lot of money on hardware without my approvals, and sure enough, Opal is saying that it needs my attention. So in this specific case, I need to take control, and I will go in and submit the request, and then I will return control back to Opal. Opal goes back to its task list and moves on to the next task. In this specific case, it's going now to where we have security groups. It's going to start adding my employee to some specific distribution lists that she needs to be on to get her job done. I'll go ahead and expand this. And now you can see it's kind of fun. Opal's typing away. I can kind of sit back. It's kind of mesmerizing like a food processor. I am so excited to see that this work gets done without me barely even having to touch the keyboard. All right, it looks like Opal is now telling me that the activities have all been done. It's ready for my review. Okay, looks like the job was done great. I'm going to end that job. Job is complete. And great, that task is now compiled with the other tasks that Opal has completed for me. Now, what you've seen is that Opal has just done its multi-step process with very little involvement from me. And at Microsoft, we're using Opal for all kinds of tedious tasks, such as compliance audits and invoice processing. Opal's in early stages in Frontier now, but I encourage you to check it out. And to recap, these new agents are really helping you redefine business process, whether it's from workforce planning or handling full execution of routine tasks. Now, to understand other ways to use agents to reimagine work in your organization, let's hear from one of our customers. I would like to welcome Mike DiPaolo from Bristol Myers Squibb.
Thank you, Nicole. At Bristol Myers, we want our employees to experience AI and truly fall in love with that. So today, we're going to showcase two simple but game-changing agents on an essential task, one that no one likes to do, your performance reviews. So we've partnered with our IT business partners and our people services organization and developed these agents using Agent Builder. The first one is a self-reflection agent. This works with, it's an engineered prompt. You just put in your title and your grade level, and it goes and scans all emails, chats, documents, project documents, everything else, plus a SharePoint site that we've created that has grade level specific performance guidelines. Then it'll come back and you'll see it start to generate my review for me to go over and make sure it's accurate as we go through the time. The other piece that we've done is, as Bristol has reduced spans in our company, our managers are taking on more direct reports, and that takes a lot of time to do these reviews. So we've created an agent for the manager to do a reflection on their employee. Again, it's an engineered prompt. You just place your employee's name in the file, and it'll go through. It scans, again, conversations you've had, projects they've worked on, SharePoint sites, things they've done, chats, emails, things like that are all being scanned. Now, I've done Madhu from my team, and I get an overall performance summary of what she's done over the year, even if she hasn't directly reported to me the entire year, which is a key sense when we change people around. So this allows the manager to actually spend the time now to look at these results that come back. They're data-driven, but now I use both of these agents myself all the time. I have a large team. I get now the time back to review these documents and actually make them meaningful. Have them actually mean something and be something that the person can really use in going forward. And that's really our goal in doing this, is give meaningful messages back to our employees. But this is just the beginning of what we're doing. We're also creating a manager hub, which will allow us to query policies, PTO time, training documents, and much more, all from an agent, so you don't have to go into all those different systems to find out those questions. And it's really become, on the roadmap, as a game changer for us. BMS is trying to transform the way we work, and Copilot's doing a great job in helping us in doing that. Our partnership with Microsoft has been innovative and exciting, and we really do want to continue that path as we move forward. So these agents are something that truly help everybody. It's something that's meaningful to them. It's not AI to help the business, it's AI to help you, and that's how you're going to get excited about it. We've also got a few other agents that we are in pilot with. We have a neurodiversity support agent, which helps us level the playing field. It gives people a voice to really do some really good work. We have a meeting prep assistant, which allows you to get pre-reads done and documents ready for your meetings and things like that. We've also got a cyber tracking agent and a Copilot contract agent review that we worked with the tuning team on for our regulatory and legal responsibilities. And so it cuts down on that as well. So that is my time. Nicole, thank you very much.
Very much, Mike. It's great to see how BMS is harnessing the power of WorkIQ with custom agents. Now, as I shared today, Copilot and agents are transforming work across these three new patterns: AI assistants, AI teammates, and AI operators. Now, if you have one takeaway from our session today, is that Copilot is not generic AI bolted onto work. It's AI built for work, built with all of your data in real time with full context, built into the tools your employees use every day for work, built securely and all in your control. This is AI for work done right, designed for real work, real outcomes, and real responsibility. And that is what sets Copilot apart. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable AI journey. Thank you for your feedback, your trust, and most of all, thank you for being our customer. Seeing our customers achieve more with Copilot inspires us most. And so as you head out, let's hear from PwC and how they're transforming their business with Copilot. Thank you.
When AI hit the scene or really exploded in the past 18, 24 months, the obvious first challenge is the sheer size, the scale.
PwC's vision and mission is to build trust and solve important problems in society.
We operate in over 130 countries. We have over 500,000 mailboxes, and we have over 15 petabytes of data that we had to migrate. Then you've got to think about all of the different regulations, requirements of every country, and then making sure there's no business disruption. That made it very complex. So our partnership with Microsoft really helped us deploy it. We are giving our workforce the tools they need to work better and faster, and that's why we have 210,000 people globally enabled on Copilot today.
It's embedded within the tools that I'm using in my day-to-day work. I like to treat it as a teammate that knows you, knows your work.
The main things that really matter in this agentic era is scale, robustness of delivery, and adoption. I want to make sure that our users don't have to think about things like compliance or security. So having a framework whereby the user doesn't have to police or manage the agent environment, I think that's really compelling and interesting.
When I'm building these agents, think of it as I'm giving instructions to another team member. One of the agents that I've built is to help me draft user stories, and then I'm able to turn around more quickly those user stories to the developers.
We had over 40 million Copilot actions in the past 6 months, so we're seeing the adoption just skyrocket. This model-agnostic approach enables us continually to leverage Copilot and know that we're not going to be locked out of features, but also not having to constantly switch to other tools or other solutions.
And so what's really important in my view is to pick technology partners such as Microsoft that are investing the type of scale that we're seeing. But by 12 months from now, it's almost limitless to think about how we're going to use Copilot to activate and support the day-to-day operations of our firm. The future is exciting.